Dear friends, this is episode number 72. In this episode, we have to deal with Rule 6 onwards of Order 41. Let us see Rule 6. Security in case of order for execution of decree appeal from. Carefully read. Where an order is made for the execution of a decree from which an appeal is pending. An appeal from the decree is pending, but execution is also proceeded with. Reasons may be varied. Either there is no stay or stay condition not complied with, stay has gone. So, where an order is made for execution of a decree from which an appeal is pending, the court which passed the decree shall, on sufficient cause being shown by the appellant, require security to be taken for the restitution of the property which may be or has been taken in execution of the decree, or for payment of the value of such property, and for the due performance of the decree or order of the appellate court, or the appellate court may, for the like cause, direct the court which passed the decree to take such security. What is the meaning of this? A decree was passed. The defendant is aggrieved. The defendant files an appeal. Appeal is pending. Meanwhile, execution proceedings are going on. Suppose the suit is for recovery of possession of property, immoral property. The plaintiff decree holder may take delivery of the property, and afterwards the decree is reversed or set aside. The appellant defendant has to get back the property. That is restitution, 144 section. So an appeal is pending, execution is being proceeded with. There is a likelihood of the property being delivered to the decree holder. There is also a likelihood of the appeal being allowed and the decree set aside, in which case the property has to come back to the defendant appellant, for which something can be done as provided in Rule 6. The court which passed the decree shall, on sufficient cause being shown by the appellant, require security to be taken for the restitution of any property which may be taken in execution. The court which passed the decree on application can order the decree holder to furnish security for what? Security for restitution of the property. Suppose the appeal is allowed and the decree is set aside. The property has to come back to the judgment defendant, who is the appellant at the lower court. So, the court which passed the decree on sufficient cause being shown by the appellant, who is the appellant? Defendant, judgment, requires security to be taken for restitution of the property which may be or has been made in execution. Require the other party, that is who? Decree holder, to furnish security for restitution of the property in case it becomes necessary, or for payment of the value of such property and for the due performance of the decree or order of the appellate court. Security can be for restitution or for payment of the value of such property. Suppose the property is destroyed, value is to be paid. What is that value? For which security? And for due performance of the decree or order of the appellate court. The appellate court decides something else. and for the performance of that order, security. So, a decree is passed, an appeal is pending. Pending appeal, the appellant, defendant may apply to the court which passed the decree to direct the decree holder to furnish security for what? In case the decree is reversed, restitution of the property is to be had. For that purpose, give security, or for payment of the value of the property, or for due performance of any order that may be passed by the appellate court. For all these things, security may be taken. Or the appellate court may, for the like cause means for the same cause which has been mentioned earlier, direct the court which passed the decree to take such security. So either the appellant, defendant who has challenged the decree in appeal and the appeal is pending may apply to the court which passed the decree to direct the opposite party to give security, or he may apply to the appellate court where the appeal is pending and the appellate court has jurisdiction to direct the court which passed the decree to take such security. This is to ensure due performance of any decree or order that may be passed by the appellate court, which is different from the decree passed by the trial court. Suppose the appellate court confirms the decree of the trial court, there is no question of any restitution. There is no question of payment of value of the property or performance of any order passed by the appellate court. Confirmed. And in the meanwhile, delivery is taken. No order is need be passed. The appellate court can also direct the court which passed the decree to take such security. This is the meaning of sub-rule 1 of rule 6. That is to maintain the status quo ante in case it is required. Restitution is what? If a decree or order is reversed or set aside in appeal or revision, restitution can be had by the party who succeeded in the appeal or revision to put back the party to put back him in the same position which he would have occupied but for the order or decree passed by the trial court. That is restitution. See, put the parties in the same position. Otherwise, if delivery is taken and it is being dealt with in the manner as the decree holder likes, and tomorrow the appeal is allowed, later the appeal is allowed, and there is no decree to be executed, by that time the decree holder takes delivery and do whatever he wants with respect to the property. See, sufficient check and balance can be done. The court has power to do all those things. Party has got a right of making an application for this purpose. This is rule 6. 1. 6.2. Where an order has been made for sale of immovable property in execution of a decree and an appeal is pending from such decree, the sale shall, on the application of the judgmentator to the court which made the order, be stayed on such terms as to giving security or otherwise as the court thinks fit until the appeal is disposed of. Sale of immovable property. A decree for payment of money is passed. Challenging that, the defendant has filed an appeal. Appeal is pending. Meanwhile, execution is proceeded with. And the decree holder attaches an item of immovable property belonging to the judgmentator, defendant, and that is being brought to sale. Appeal is pending. The sale shall, on the application of the judgmentator to the court which made the order, that sale shall be stayed on such terms as to giving security or otherwise, as the court thinks fit until the appeal is disposed of. So, on a plain reading of it, What is this? An appeal is pending, no stay was granted, or stay was granted on condition not complied with, no stay. So there is no bar in proceeding with the execution. When execution is taken and a sale of item of immovable property is being made, on making the application, the sale shall be stayed on taking security. Is it mandatory, or is there a discretionary power vested in the court which ordered the sale? On the basis of Rule 5, all these parameters are there in Rule 5. Whether it goes against Rule 5, there are conflicting decisions of various high courts. The Mysore High Court has taken the view that once an application is filed and all these ingredients apply, it shall be stayed. Whereas Allahabad and other high courts, majority of the high courts have taken the view otherwise. It is only discretion of the court, not the court is bound. I could not find any decision of the Supreme Court on that point. Anyhow, if you are interested, you may work up. Because a person who has failed to get a stay from the appellate court need not worry. If his property is being sold, he may apply to the court which passed the order for sale to stay it pending disposal of the appeal. I will furnish security. What of it? He can say. And if it is duty, the court is duty bound to do it, then one may have a doubt whether it goes against Rule 5, the peremptory nature of Rule 5. But the majority of the high courts have taken the view that, taking into account the facts and circumstances of the case, the discretion can be exercised under sub Rule 2 to stay or not to stay. No Supreme Court decision on that point to my knowledge. This is Rule 6. Rule 7, that is repealed. Instead of that, we have seen Order 27, Rule 80A yesterday, last episode. That is there. Decree against the government or public officer where the defense have been taken by the government. Now Rule 8, exercise of power in appeal from order made in execution of a decree. The powers conferred by Rule 5 and 6 shall be exercisable where an appeal may be or has been preferred not from the decree but from an order made in execution of a decree. The same power can be exercised if it is an order, not a decree. That's all. Then procedure on admission of appeal, Rule 9. This is an amendment which was brought out in 1999. CPC Amendment Act 1999. What is that? Registry of Memorandum of Appeal. The court from whose decree an appeal lies shall entertain the Memorandum of Appeal and shall endorse thereon the date of presentation and shall register the appeal in a book of appeal kept for that purpose. Such book shall be called the Register of Appeal. What is that? A court passes a decree. The aggrieved party can file an appeal before the appellate court. Going by Rule 9, the court which passed the decree can entertain the memorandum of appeal and shall endorse thereon the date of its presentation and shall register the appeal in a book of appeal kept for that purpose. So there was a lot of confusion whether the appeal should be filed in the court which passed the decree or whether it can be filed, and if filed, what should be done by the trial court, whether it is to be forwarded to the appellate court, how a number is to be assigned, lot of confusion, practical aspect of it. Suppose there are 100 subordinate courts, trial courts in the state. Various decrees may come. Each one of the subordinate court registers appeals. What number is to be assigned? Only the appellate court knows, respective appellate court. Suppose the appellate court is a high court, only high court knows what number should be given and how it should be proceeded with. What about the delay that is likely to happen? All these are for the purpose of helping the litigants. Suppose the appellate court is 200 kilometers away in some of the bigger states, it may be so. And the party need not worry of filing the appeal in a distant court, appellate court. He can file it in the trial court itself. Then what should be done? It is not provided. So a lot of confusion was there. And it was brought out in Salem, Advocate Bar Association 1, 2003, 1 SCC 49. That was discussed when the constitutionality of the amendment was challenged. That was one of the items of discussion. And in paragraph 23 of Salem 1, I shall read that short paragraph. The apprehension was that this rule requires the appeal to be filed in the court from whose decree the appeal is sought to be filed. That is a trial court which passed the decree. In our opinion, this is not so. The appeal is to be filed under Order 41 Rule 1 in the court in which it is maintainable. All that Order 41 Rule 9 requires is that a copy of the memorandum of appeal which has been filed in the appellate court should also be presented before the court against whose decree the appeal has been filed, and endorsement thereof shall be made by the decreeing court in a book called the Register of Appeals. Perhaps the intention of the legislature was that the court against whose decree in appeal has been perhaps the intention of the legislature was that the court against whose decree an appeal has been filed should be made aware of the factum of filing of the appeal, which may or may not be relevant at a future date. Merely because a memorandum of appeal is not filed under Order 41 Rule 9 will not, to our mind, make the appeal filed in the appellate court as defective one. These were the apprehensions made by lawyers. So one appeal has to be filed before the trial court itself. Then what should be done? It is not provided. Whether the regular appeal should be filed before the appellate court. Suppose it is not done in the trial court, what will happen? Whether the appeal file will be defective. All these things it is cleared by paragraph 23 of Salem 1. You file a copy of the memorandum of appeal in the trial court, and the trial court shall endorse thereon all the necessary details, and kept in the register, kept there. And if you fail to do it, nothing is going to happen. This is what the Supreme Court said. I do not know whether in practice all these things are being done. There is nothing wrong with it done. Many of the trial courts may not be having such registers or regular entries being made. I am not quite sure. Now 10. The appellate court may require appellant to furnish security for cause. The appellate court may in its discretion, either before the respondent is called upon to appear in answer or afterwards on the application of the respondent, demand from the appellant security for the cost of appeal or of the original suit or of both. Where appellant resides out of India, provided that the court shall demand such security in all cases in which the appellant is residing out of India and is not possessed of any sufficient immovable property within India other than the property, if any, to which the appeal relates. Where such security is not furnished within such time as court orders, the court shall reject the appeal. So an appeal is filed against a decree. The respondent feels that this is a frivolous appeal. That means a person filed a suit, that suit was dismissed, an appeal is filed, appeal is not meritorious. The respondent, according to the respondent, he is being harassed from court to court by filing an appeal and all those things. There are suits which are frivolous, no doubt about it. And the respondent may apply. It's a frivolous appeal. No merit in it. Look at it. And I will be put to peril. If the appeal is dismissed, I may not be able to realize the cost and all those things. So, direct the appellant to furnish security. demand from the appellant security for the cost of appeal or of the original suit or of both. So this is likely to be dismissed most probably. He will be liable to pay cost, appellant. He has been ordered to pay costs in the trial court also. So direct him to give security, furnish security for the cost of the appeal or the cost in the suit or both. And if he is residing, if the appellant is residing out of India and he has no property other than the disputed property in India, security shall be taken. Where such security is not furnished within such time, the court may reject the appeal. I do not think that on the practical side of it this is much used. If it is to be used residing out of India, that will be mostly applicable in the state of Kerala, because here at least one person from every family is out of India. But even then I have not seen such situations where, I do not know whether it is practically being done in some of the courts, but there is scope for it. The result is that, the resultant position is that if somebody fails to furnish security, that is a reason for rejecting the appeal. That is the drastic consequences that may take place in case the security is not furnished. Then Rule 11. Rule 11 is very important. This is admission of the appeal. I said while dealing with Order 41 Rule 1 that along with the appeal the judgment is to be produced. Formerly it was decree compulsory and the judgment also unless the appellate court dispenses with the judgment for the time being. But decree was a must. But now after the amendment of CPC 99, decree is not a must. Production of the decree is not necessary. Decree probably may be got subsequently. But with the judgment the appeal can be filed. We discussed it in detail while dealing with the Order Rule 1. But the decree is to be produced when? That also I said Rita versus Paul. That is to be produced after it is admitted. That admission takes place under Rule 11. Rule 11. Power to dismiss the appeal without sending notice to lower court. The appellate court, after fixing a day for hearing the appellant or his pleader and hearing him accordingly, if he appears on that day, may dismiss the appeal. For what reasons, all those things it is not stated. If it is not meritorious, the appellant, the respondent need not be called upon to answer this appeal. There is nothing. The trial court decree is to be confirmed. And even without issuing notice to the respondent, the appeal can be summarily dismissed. If on the day fixed or any other day to which the hearing may be adjourned, the appellant does not appear when the appeal is called for hearing, the court may make an order that the appeal be dismissed. Appellant does not appear. It is posted for admission hearing. The appellant does not appear. The court may make an order that the appeal be dismissed. The dismissal of an appeal under this rule shall be notified to the court from which the decree appeal is preferred. The trial court shall be, or the court which passed the decree appeal against shall be informed. Where an appellate court, not being the High Court, dismisses an appeal under sub-rule 1, it shall deliver a judgment recording in brief its grounds for doing so, and the decree shall be drawn up in accordance with the judgment. So, dismissal of an appeal under Rule 11, that is not after final hearing, that is before issuing notice to the respondent, finding that the appeal is not meritorious, there is nothing where the appeal is to be entertained and notice to be issued. If it is so frivolous, it can be dismissed. And when it is dismissed under Rule 11, a judgment shall be passed, recording in brief its grounds for doing so. and a decree shall be drawn up accordingly. Why? Because when the matter is taken up, the appellate court, trial court, a decision is taken against you, you file an appeal. The appellate court, yes, no grounds, dismissed. You want to challenge that order. What will you say? No reasons are stated. That is a ground to set aside the whole thing passed by the appellate court. There must be reasons. Then only the appellate court therefrom can say whether it was right or wrong. That is why it is made mandatory to deliver a judgment recording in brief the grounds for doing so, and a decree shall be drawn up. It has got all the trappings of a regular judgment and decree, except that the contention, the respondent has not appeared and his contentions probably may not appear. But the contentions which he raised before the trial court has to find a place. It must be a judgment with reasons. It is not just the whims and fancies of the appellate court. No grounds, dismissed. I am not satisfied. That is not sufficient. Now we will deal with some of the decisions of the courts with respect to Rule 11 in the next episode. Thank you.